1-0 in the new season for the Golden State Warriors, and that is fantastic news as the Warriors defeat the Rockets in Game 1 of the Round 1 of the NBA playoffs, 95-85. Yes, that reads correctly. The Warriors held the Rockets to 85 points in Big 2025. Now, Houston, not a great half-court offensive team to begin with, but Golden State and the clamps that they put on after Houston went on their early run in this game was unbelievable. 13 second-quarter points, and it was just a lead that was too big for the Rockets to come back from. I mean, 23 points. Golden State was up at one point in this game. The Rockets got it all the way to a three-point game, to a tie game in this one, and the Warriors were able to hit their jump shots down the stretch. The Rockets were not, and now Golden State holds home court advantage in this series so far. Now, we got a couple days off in between games 1 and 2, but if you want to send good vibes to the Golden State Warriors and go up 2-0 over the Rockets, let me know. Let the Dubs know by smashing that thumbs up icon like today's video so we can send good vibes to our boys down in Golden State. Well, I guess in Houston right now. All right, let's talk about this ball game because, let's be honest, it was not the greatest overall offensive performance from either side, to be quite honest. Golden State got punched in the mouth there in that first quarter, fell down by like 9 or 10 points early on in this ball game, but they were able to kind of come back, especially in that second quarter where they held the Rockets to 13 points. The half-court offense was not working for Houston today, and they weren't hitting their jumpers. I mean, they shoot an abysmal 21% from three-point range, less than 40% from the floor as a whole. But the story as to why Houston was able to climb back in this ball game was the offensive rebounding. Houston grabbed 22 offensive boards in this ball game, and at the end of the day, they had more opportunities to go out there and score the basketball. And Golden State in this one only had, I think, 6 offensive rebounds. So, it's a possessions game in the NBA. How many more possessions can you have than your opponent? More opportunities to put the ball through the net. And Golden State's going to have their hands full with the double big lineup that Houston will roll out, with Alperen Sengun and Steven Adams both working down low and muddying up the paint, tapping out long offensive rebounds. Golden State's going to have to find ways to combat that and put themselves in position to snag these defensive rebounds. Box out some more. I know if you're not bigger than your opponent on the low block, then just put your body into them. Get low and tap out some of these offensive rebounds. Like I can't believe I'm talking about instructing a professional basketball team, a playoff basketball team, to box out and get positioning. But it's difficult. I mean, a lot of players did their jobs tonight on the glass, but still, the Golden State just doesn't have the size straight up to match with those Twin Towers down low for Houston. But hey, Golden State had some really, really good moments in this game. The way that they were able to muddy up the paint when Houston would get down low was amazing. The turnovers they were able to force, they forced 11 first half turnovers, 16 total on the game. So they were making the Rockets very, very uncomfortable, constantly being in passing lanes. Whenever they would get the ball down low to basically anybody, whether it was Amen Thompson or Alperen Sengun or Steven Adams or, Dylan Brooks, Tari Eason down low, the Rockets would have a tough time getting the shot even up and on the rim. Like it was swarming defense from Golden State. They were creating live ball turnovers, which they were kind of giving up a lot of their own early in this game, but they stayed level-headed. They were able to sustain the run that they went on and not let Houston come back in this game, and now they're up 1-0. And a huge, huge thanks should be going out to our Lord and Savior, number 30, Wardell Steph Curry, who, again, was just lights out in this ballgame. 31 points on elite shooting from the field, 12 of 19, and every shot felt like it was going in. Even when Steph missed, I was like, oh, wow, like that. I was almost shocked. And that's how I am all the time with 30, but man, to bounce back from the performance that he had last time out against Houston, special. He had 3 points, 1 of 10 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3 or whatever it was. He got bottled up off the ball and wasn't really allowed any open looks. Tonight, the Warriors were able to get him open looks, and that was a huge key to victory for me. Can you find Steph some openings in this Houston defense to be able to get the shot up and off? He was really, to start this game, getting the ball up very quickly, like he was anticipating the Houston closeout, so he wanted to get the ball up on the rim as quick as possible. But as the game went on, in isolation, he would take his time. finding his spot. He was setting up his feet for, like a curl off and off ball screen and catch and spot up. He was squaring up to the basket. He was taking his time, being patient, but also getting these looks up quick enough for nobody on Houston to be able to contest him. Like, he's magical with the basketball, and the way that he got himself going in this game was really getting to the rim. And the 3-level scoring aspect of Curry was the way that he kind of got into a rhythm here, because Houston was so worried about him being open on the perimeter that they were ignoring his backdoor cuts and him finding open lanes to the rim. So I loved what I saw from Curry tonight, as I do most nights, and I can't wait for Golden State to continue to just find creative ways for him to be able to score the basketball. Because we know with Steph, it's just not all on the ball. We'll talk more in just a moment about the rest of the players that made a huge, huge impact and the players that Golden State was able to limit, and some notes that they have to follow if they want to win at Game 2. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to our proud sponsor, and that is Game Time. Looking to attend a Warriors playoff game this postseason? I've been to an NBA playoff game before, and the atmosphere is electric. I highly, highly recommend it. And I highly recommend you use our friends over at Game Time to secure your tickets. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app actually drop as the event gets closer. If it gets closer to tip-off, you're going to see lower prices on the Game Time app. Plus, they are super aesthetically pleasing. You can see your seat view inside the app. You can access your tickets from your phone, and you can easily resell your tickets if you no longer wish to go to the event. With killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, theater events, comedy shows, and so much more, because it's not just Warriors playoff tickets. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use our promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All that information is clickable in the comments, description, and the chat right now of today's video. Jimmy Butler, what does this guy eat before the postseason, man? Because it has to be some sort of super soldier serum, because he takes his game to an entirely new level. Yeah, Steph had a third of Golden State's points. Jimmy helped Steph combine for 66 out of the 95 points that Golden State scored tonight. And he has just been the aggressive player that we need him to be. Got 19 shots up. I mean, he was attacking the rim like we need him to. And he was hitting his jump shots as well tonight. Was 1 of 2 from long range. Hit a couple of fall-away jumpers. When he gets to his spot right below the elbow, kind of in that mid-range wing area, and he can jump stop, fall away for 2, it's butter every single time. I mean, over the outstretched arms of Amen Thompson here, Şengün there, does not matter. Jimmy Butler is one of the more unguardable players in the NBA for a guy who doesn't have the craziest bag out there overall. Hit a big tip-in down the stretch as well to help seal this game off. It was awesome. And a lot of guys in that starting unit contributed down the stretch. Pods with a couple of big shots inside. I mean, he was able to close this game very effectively. A great Pods line tonight, 14, 8, and 5. Yeah, I'll take that every time. He was not super efficient from the field, but you know what? At the end of the day, he did what he needed to do. He was getting in the lane, setting his feet, and absorbing contact for those drawn charges. He was awesome tonight. Moses Moody really came along in the fourth quarter, to be quite honest. Hit a wide open, I wouldn't say it was super wide open. Hit a closing out, open 3 that pushed this Warriors lead a little bit further. Had a bucket in the lane as well down the stretch. I mean, this is a guy who couldn't get his offense really rolling to start this game. Started out 0-3. I think he hit his last 2 shots of the ball game and hit them at the biggest moments. I'm so glad that Moody is a playoff riser in this scenario. And yeah, I'm not saying that this stat line that he put up is a crazy line, but what did the Rockets guards do tonight? Not a whole heck of a lot. I'll tell you what, Jalen Green goes out there and puts up a stinker. 3 of 15 from the field. Much thanks to Moses Moody. Much thanks to GP2 as well, who made a huge impact in this game. And was again, and I want to make this more about GP2 in a second than what I'm about to say, but was again subbed in at Jonathan Kuminga's scheduled rotation time per Steve Kerr, and Kuminga did not play once again in this ballgame. Another DMP, and he's had excellent performances against the Rockets this season. Kerr decided to stick with the same lineup that he's rocked with for the Clipper game and Memphis in the play-in. But GP2, let's go back to GP2. Enough about Kuminga. It doesn't seem like he's a part of the Warriors' plans at this point in this series, and If he's not against the Rockets, then I don't know when he'll ever be available the rest of this playoff run for Golden State. But GP2 constantly open underneath the basket, lurking behind the defense, playing that great on-ball stuff. When he's off the ball, he's not afraid to send his own little double team and tip the ball away and create a live ball turnover, crashing the glass. He always does this. Like the total Swiss Army knife for Golden State, like kind of like a mini Jimmy Butler in a sense, like a very, very worse scoring Jimmy Butler in a way. Like he's just a great connector when he's used as a screen man, as the pick and roll guy. He's so awesome at being able to find a cutter. He's always got his eyes peeled. Great court vision. I love what I've seen from GP2, man. I hope he continues to play at this level and make this impact that he does. Guy Santos keeps making big impacts, man. I know not a flashy stat line once again, but hit a big three when it was his moment. Knocked down 2 big free throws as he attacked the rim on a cut. Where else would he be? Guy Santos always is just available when he needs to be. It's a sight to see, man, because like I just love when guys buy into a system and play within the flow of an offense. He did that in a big way tonight. Kevon Looney got a lot of run, but only 1 board playing against that double big lineup. I want to see a little bit more from Looney, crashing the glass, boxing out, doing his thing. So got to see more there. Healed, didn't do much tonight, and really didn't see the most run tonight. By the way, I forgot to mention this earlier. Jimmy Butler had 5 steals. It's so out of context, but I had to get that in the video. Jimmy Butler had 5 steals tonight. So creating live ball turnover situations for Golden State to get out on the fast break, which Steph has said they had to get more out on. As far as what they did defensively, Ahmed Thompson, they held in check for the most part, limited him to single digits. What about obviously Jalen Green? They held low. Fred VanVleet, they hold to 10 points on 4 of 19 shooting. Amazing. Like the perimeter defense of Golden State tonight was excellent. Yes, Houston was missing a lot of open looks, but Golden State did their job on and beyond the 3-point line tonight. Şengün, though, he had his way. He did kind of whatever he wanted on offense. He got into the lane pretty much every time. He gets to that free throw line and makes a move. Golden State's gonna have troubles with him. He's a 7-footer who's crafty with the ball and can put it in the cup. Like, they don't have a ton of size to be able to match up with him. Draymond, I thought, did an all right job down the stretch against him defensively. But, man, he is a force. He is a force, and he is somebody who should be respected by Golden State. He's got to be their number 1 priority moving forward. If they can limit what Alperen Şengün can do offensively, like Draymond, just like play the best defense of your life, then there's no way this series will even be close, because he's no doubt their biggest offensive generator right now. Most plays that they run go through Alperen Şengün. So if they can limit him offensively, man, then they're going to be in a really, really good spot. I got to ask you this, though, before we get out of here. What's your number 1 takeaway from Game 1 that we have to think about and roll over to Game 2 at this point? What was your number 1 takeaway from Game 1? Mine was that if Golden State's obviously got to limit the offensive rebounds. I don't know how easy that's going to be for them. Just do better on the defensive glass and try to get out on the break more. Like Golden State, they only put up 95 points tonight. Yeah, you held the Rockets to 85, but you didn't get to 100 yourself. So get out on the break, get easier buckets, which is caused by creating more turnovers and crashing the defensive glass and securing those possessions. That is what it's all about. So with that being said, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Lock us in as your number 1 spot for Warriors content on YouTube, because we are live for every single game. Over 200,000 people tuned in for Game 1. I want you to be a part of our Game 2 live stream on Wednesday. So subscribe, turn your notifications on, and we'll see you guys then. And we'll see you all in the next one. As always, let's go Dubs. 1-0!